You ready to work? Back on the record, 21 CR 5052, State of Ohio versus Michael Jason Meade. Turn off your phones. Do we need to put anything on the record? We're missing somebody. You committed a fatal error on your way to the airport. Good morning. Do we need to put anything on the record prior to bringing in the jury? All right, let's go get the jury. When did you get back? When did you get back? Good. Where'd you fly through? Everyone can have a seat. Hopefully everyone had a nice weekend. Are there any further witnesses on behalf of the state of Ohio? Little maze around here. Yep. Put yellow tape down there for it. Raise your right hand. You solemnly swear, affirm under penalty of perjury, your testimony in this case will be the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth. Have a seat. Pull yourself up close to the microphone. And you may inquire.
Thank you, Your Honor. Sir, would you please state your name for the ladies and gentlemen of the jury?
Robert White.
And you at one point were an FBI agent, is that correct?
Yes.
I'm just going to refer to you as Agent White, if that's okay.
That's fine.
You retired from the FBI not long ago.
Yes.
Would you share with the ladies and gentlemen of the jury a little bit about your educational and employment background?
Sure. Graduated from the Naval Academy and went to the fleet as electronic warfare, surface warfare officer. Lateral to cryptology while I was doing that. Oh, too
Back
much.
you up, 'cause
All right.
you're using terminology that maybe everybody else is familiar with, but I'm not.
Okay.
When did you graduate from the Naval Academy?
1994.
Okay, and tell us about the process of how does one gain admission to the Naval Academy?
You apply during your high school timeframe. You require a congressional nomination in order to be accepted. About a third of the midshipmen come from the fleet. I did not get a congressional nomination, so I enlisted in the Navy. And then while I was active duty, got a Secretary of Navy nomination. And so I had applied again and then got accepted.
And when you refer to the fleet, tell us what that means.
Just to the Navy in general. I was enlisted sailor. I went through boot camp in San Diego and was assigned to a training school in San Diego.
Okay. And you spent a year doing that before gaining entry to the Naval Academy?
Yes,
Okay. So that would have been, what, 1989
through 90.
through 90? And you began at the Naval Academy in 1990,
Yes,
graduated in 1994?
yes.
And once graduating from the Naval Academy, you're no longer a sailor, I assume?
No, you're always a sailor. What do you mean?
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I get, you're no longer,
A midshipman?
well, an enlisted personnel.
No, you're not enlisted while you're at the academy. That was before. When you're at the academy, you're a midshipman, so you're an officer in training, and then you get commissioned as an ensign in the Navy or, as a lieutenant in the Marine Corps.
Okay. How long were you in the Navy?
Including my enlisted in Naval Academy time, I think it was 14 years.
Okay. Share with us a bit of your experience as a naval officer.
Let's see, I came out of the academy. I was qualified Navy diver and parachutist, and then initially went to Newport, Rhode Island for officer training and was assigned to an explosives ordnance disposal group up there, keeping my calls up. We go to the fleet, into the Navy, be assigned to ships, mostly cruisers and destroyers. I was an East Coast sailor, so deployments to the Med, Adriatic, Black Sea. And then I lateraled to cryptology, so became a cryptologic officer.
Okay. Tell me what cryptology is.
Code breaking, code making, a little bit of both,
Okay.
half art, half science.
All right. Where did you do? Where were you assigned when you were in cryptology?
Yes, went through initial crypto school in Florida and then to Hawaii, where I worked at the command there.
Okay.
It's the NSA command.
All right. Any other assignments in the Navy?
I did some shore tours and things. Is that what you're asking?
Yes.
Okay. Yes, after my second ship, I was assigned as the gunnery officer in Dam Neck, Virginia.
Okay. Tell me what the gunnery officer is.
I had the sailors and the Marines who taught a sniper course for the Marines, taught grenade launchers and kind of small arms stuff. And then we had the large guns that you see on a ship, like the big guns. We had those along the waterfront there, so we would train the sailors on those.
So you became familiar with, among other things, small arms weapons, rifles, automatic weapons. Is that correct? You're nodding. She's
Oh,
taking.
yes, mostly small arms. I don't know that, I didn't train them. I had, instructors who trained on the,
Have you been trained on those items?
I have.
And you're familiar with the training protocol, I guess, for small arms fire?
In the Navy and in the FBI, yes.
Okay. How about the Marines?
The Marines pretty much taught the Navy guys. That's how we learn.
And in terms of automatic rifles, tell us about the training on those.
My experience with that was mostly like just in the FBI, like on the SWAT team there. And so not something I used in my naval capacity.
Okay. All right. Well, how did you get from the Navy to the FBI?
I was recruited when I was stationed in Hawaii, and I just had one of my sailors. She always wanted to be an FBI agent. She kind of like brought me downtown to go to a recruiting presentation, and kind of got hooked there and applied from there.
And what year was that you joined the FBI?
2002.
Okay. And now you'd had a lot of training up to that point. Did you have additional training when you joined the FBI?
Yes.
Tell us about that.
All new agents have to go through Quantico. So it's the FBI. It's a strong gun culture. I mean, you have to understand your weapons that you use, small arms primarily. You'll do some shotgun work there, but I mean, you won't at that time deal with automatic weapons or anything like that.
And share with us a bit of your FBI experience in terms of assignments.
I was mostly a cyber agent, cyber and counterintelligence work. Did that for many years and then became a supervisor in that field. And then stepped down from the supervisor role, did some more counterintelligence, and then onto the public corruption squad.
Okay. You mentioned a moment ago FBI SWAT.
Mm-hmm.
The FBI has SWAT units,
Yes.
and were you a member of that?
Yes, it was a collateral duty that I
Okay.
volunteered for.
And what type of training did you have, as a SWAT officer?
It's pretty extensive. We would train every week if we didn't have missions. We would be training. It would be obviously firearms. We would do patrolling. We would do we did some water stuff, dealing with bomb makers and just all kinds of different things, and then different technology like how to use the robots and other things.
Okay. How about weaponry?
Yes.
What types of weapons did you train on as a SWAT member?
We would have our primary weapon, our handgun that we would use. Some guys had 45s, some had, Glocks. I had a Glock. We all had M4s, which are, like the military, essentially rifles. I think for the first few years that I was in, there were still automatic versions of that, and then we phased them out for the 3-round burst versions.
Okay. So when you started, the M4s were fully automatic?
Yes.
Okay. Tell me about firing an automatic weapon. How does that differ from firing a semi-automatic?
Semi-automatic? I mean, you pull the trigger, it just keeps going until you run out of rounds. It's it's a lot, if you don't have, if you're not really trained to handle it, and so it can get away from you as it like tends to walk a bit.
All right. You say it tends to walk. Tell me what you mean by that.
Just like as you're shooting it, as the rounds eject and everything, it will take like a little step, in the other direction. And so, the more time that you spend squeezing that trigger and sending more rounds out, the more that it can kind of go off your target.
Okay. Go off the target.
Yeah, if you don't properly control it.
All right, and how are you taught to properly?
You're going to lean into it. You're going to, usually get it really set in your shoulder and try and, I would say I wouldn't go full auto on it. I would just do shorter round bursts to try to control that because I don't want it to do that.
And was that part of the training?
Yes.
And when you say short round bursts, what do you mean?
Usually 3-round bursts is what the Marines would instruct us on.
Okay. So and the reason to try to narrow it to 3-round bursts is to keep the weapon on target?
Yes.
Okay. And is that, from your experience, the general training across SWAT, across the military and the various places where they use automatic weapons?
Yeah, it allows you to conserve ammo as well as be more accurate in what you're shooting. So that was pretty standard. You could even get into like a rhythm in your shooting and how because the weapon would rise and then when you let off of it, it would drop back down and then you could engage it again. And so it was a nice way to kind of keep it on your target.
Okay. Were you trained in what's called defensive tactics?
Yes.
Tell us about that.
Defensive tactics in the Bureau is mostly how do you do arrests? How do you go hands-on with the subject? Ground fighting. Sometimes you're hands-on and you have to break and then draw your weapon. It's those types of things as well as when to use your weapon.
From a tactical standpoint, when dealing with someone that is armed, are there certain tactical protocols that you're encouraged to follow?
Yes.
Tell us about that.
Well, you want to get every advantage in a situation like that. I think that's something that the Bureau does well. So we do try to go with more people. We go with more weapons. We try to surprise the subject, right? Get every advantage to take the fight out of them so that you don't have a situation like that. If you're dealing with armed folks, ideally, you want to have them like turn away from you, drop the weapon, turn away from you, give you more reaction time while they have to kind of figure out what's going on. Usually someone's covering that individual. If you need to go hands-on, there's someone who's covering them, someone's going hands-on.
That's what you mean by trying to get numerical advantages.
Yes, I mean, not just that, but like anytime that you could, if you were, maybe assaulting a house or something, you want to go with enough people that you've got all of the entrances and everything covered. You know, you go into a room, you can cover a room properly, things like that.
How does the concept of cover
Cover?
come in?
Yeah, that's usually the first thing that you need. In Quantico, when you're learning as a new agent, if you spend more than 3 seconds out of cover, like, you know, the instructors get all over you. So that's the first thing, is try to get into a place where like you're protected, you're as small as possible, makes it hard to hit. Marksmanship's important, like distance is usually your friend as law enforcement because you know how to shoot. So the further you can get from someone, the better, right? Especially if they have a handgun and you have a long gun, you've got every advantage. So like, you know, that distance is helpful.
Okay. So at least in your training, you know, weapon advantage, that would be a weapon advantage, like a handgun versus a long gun?
Yes.
And the reason for that is what?
Why would you take a long gun over a handgun?
Yeah.
Oh, every advantage. I mean, it's a faster weapon system, it's more powerful, greater range, more accurate. It's better in most cases.
So when you say greater range, are you talking about it can be further apart?
Yes, and be more accurate, and
Okay.
yes.
Now, explain to me how an investigation gets started by the FBI. Are there certain procedures that occur to enable agents to begin an investigation?
It can start a number of ways. I mean, it could be a complaint, it could be something that comes in, you know, a victim statement or something bad happens, we learn about it, or, I don't know, another law enforcement agency. It could be a number of things, but ultimately, we can't just open our own investigations. We would present that to the U.S. Attorney's Office, and they would agree to open the investigation.
So any investigation that is done by the FBI has to first be approved by the United States Attorney's Office,
Yes.
whatever locale they're in.
Yes.
Now, did you become involved in an investigation of the December 4th, 2020 shooting of Casey Goodson Jr.?
Yes.
And tell me how that came about.
Well, we weren't brought in initially. It was, I mean, the shooting had occurred on the 4th, and it was sometime after that we were asked to investigate. As far as I understand, it came over from the U.S. Attorney's Office, and my supervisor assigned it to me and Vic.
Vic is who?
Agent Chappas,
Okay.
Victor
Vic-
Chappas. Yeah.
Vic Chappas?
Yes.
And he's another FBI agent that at that time at least was located here in the Columbus office.
Yes.
Okay. You may not have the date right on the top of your head, but in proximity to December 4th of 2020, which was a Friday, do you recall how long after that Friday it was when you and Agent Chappas opened your investigation?
I think it was probably the following week.
Okay. And tell us about that. When you opened your investigation, what were your guys' initial steps?
Typically, we would do an opening EC. It's an electronic communication. It's just like a memo that outlines, you know, this is what we're opening, this is the case designation. We would start to kind of paper the file, which is collect information about the victim, subject, those types of things, run criminal history checks, maybe some OLEG and, just background information. Put that in there, and then we would need to get caught up on what had occurred since that time frame. So touch base with Columbus PD and get the files that they had collected up to that point.
Okay. So when you guys opened your investigation, you were aware that the Columbus Police Department had done some work on the case.
Yes.
Do you recall who you contacted over at the Columbus Police Department?
Art
Hughes?
Hughes, yes, sorry, yes, detective. He's a homicide detective there, Art Hughes.
Okay, and did you and Agent Chapas work with Detective Hughes throughout
Yes,
your investigation?
yes,
Was he cooperative with you?
yes.
And when you contacted him, what did he provide to you?
Anything that they had already collected. So there were some initial interviews that were done with individuals in the house, task force members. Eventually we would, get the victim's clothing, looking at those things. We would, really, anything, it would be,
Had he collected body cameras?
Yes,
And were you able to determine early on whether, well, strike that. Your understanding when this investigation opened was who was the victim of the shooting?
Mr. Goodson?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Casey Goodson.
And did you understand at the outset who had been responsible for the shooting of?
Yes, yes.
Who was that?
It was Deputy Meade.
Okay. Did you understand in those initial days what Deputy Meade's capacity was as a law enforcement officer on that particular day?
Yes, he was a member of the SOFAST task force.
Okay. And that's a task force with the United States Marshals Service?
Yes,
Okay. And in addition to that, did you understand what his employment was other than just SOFAST?
yes, I believe he was a Franklin County deputy and member of their SWAT team.
Sorry.
Franklin County deputy and member of their SWAT team.
Okay. Did you ascertain early on in the investigation whether Deputy Meade or other members of the SOFAST team were wearing body cameras on that day?
Yeah, they don't wear, or didn't wear body cameras then. I don't know if they do now.
Okay, at least then they were not.
Yeah, they did not.
So in the body camera videos that were collected, none of them were of the shooting itself. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Did you also collect video from Detective Hughes or copies of video from Detective Hughes of cruiser videos?
Yes,
Did you and Agent Chapas review those?
yes,
There was a lot, right?
yes, it was a lot.
Tell me, all right, you know, you've taken these initial steps, you've gathered or assembled the information from Columbus Police that they had. What steps did you take in those initial days?
I went out to the location. I walked the residents to get a kind of a feel of like what the neighborhood was like. I looked for additional cameras, kind of drove through the area, and eventually we asked for our evidence recovery team to come out and process the scene, see if there was anything that was missed.
Well, when you went out and walked through the area and drove around the area, you said you were looking for cameras, et cetera. Did you locate any?
Yes.
Where?
Several locations. There was a ring across the street on Estates. There was a ring across the street on, I think it's Case maybe. There was a house like 2 doors up that had like legit cameras on it, like more than just a ring. And then up at the corner of Ferris and Carl, there's a St. Matthias there. And so they had several cameras.
Okay, did you collect any videos from any of those cameras?
Yes.
What?
St. Matthias mostly. The other ones, the one across the street didn't have anything. And then the one in the, like off of Case directly across, like on the fence side, it wasn't working. So, and then the house that was 2 doors up, they didn't have anything to share. So it was mostly St. Matthias.
Okay, so you, and tell us about the cameras up at St. Matthias. What did they capture?
They had probably more than 2, but there were really only 2 that I was interested in. One that's like right at the main entrance that covers the parking lot there, and then one that shoots a little bit more towards Carl, which had the intersection.
Okay, so the intersection between of Carl and Ferris.
Yes.
Okay. And the one that covered the, what interests you about the one that covered the parking lot?
It also covered Ferris as well. So, I mean, you could see vehicles coming and going there. You could see, that was where it looks like the SoFast team had staged at some point. So, you could see things like that. It was helpful.
Did it show the intersection of Ferris and Estates?
That one did not. The other one did.
The parking lot one or
The parking lot one was just directly in front of St. Matthias, and then there was another one which pointed, it did catch the parking lot, but then it also had the intersection.
Okay. So I'm, maybe I'm the only one confused. Were there 3 cameras you were looking at, or?
There were 2 that we collected video from.
Okay. And those 2, what portion of the surrounding areas did they show?
Yeah, one showed directly in front of St. Matthias, so just like the street and the houses across from it. And then there was a second one which pointed out towards the intersection, and that one had
Which intersection?
the Ferris and Carl
Okay.
intersection.
The one that pointed directly out, did that show Estates Place as well?
No. You couldn't, that was further down, and then it was,
Okay.
you make a
So
turn.
you didn't collect that one?
On Estates?
The one that showed Estates.
I don't know that video. I'm not sure which one you're referring to.
Well, let me see if I can place them. You tell me which ones they are. Okay.
Okay.
Do you stipulate?
Sure. Okay. I think those duties have already been stipulated to. You mentioned that in the course of your investigation, you arranged for the FBI's evidence response team to come to the scene. Would that have been on or about December 15th, 16th, and 17th?
That sounds correct.
And tell us what the evidence response team is.
It's a collateral duty as well. It's usually made up of agents and support staff, and they get trained to collect evidence different ways. There's a photographer on there. They're experts on preserving evidence. I think they go to the farm and they learn about like how bodies decompose. They can do body digs, things like that.
Okay. Well, let me show you. A series of posters here, Matt. Huh? This one? Yeah, first.
You did.
I've got a series of posters. Let's start with State's Exhibit 19. Is this an FBI-generated poster?
Yes.
Okay. I think it's Google Maps, right?
Yes.
But what's being depicted?
So this is St. Matthias here.
Okay.
That's what I was talking about, like camera there and then the camera that looks out over here. This is the state's place, and then this was the residence where the shooting occurred.
Okay, and this is this FBI markings where the names of the streets have been placed on there?
No, that comes from Google Maps.
That comes from Google, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Now, as a result of the evidence response team, did they generate some graphics from their visit there?
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to show you what's been marked as 11C.
Okay.
Tell me what that is.
This is another like zoomed in version of the house. And so it's got both, like, this is estates plates, this is case. This is the fence and that goes around the yard here.
Okay.
And then they've kind of like removed the roof so you can kind of see the layout inside the house.
Okay. And at least when they were there, the vehicles were not parked in the roadway as they're depicted here, is that right?
Correct, they added them.
That would have come from information you got from Columbus?
Yes.
Okay. And I suppose body cams.
Mhm.
State's Exhibit 11A. Tell us what that is.
That's zoom in of the house there, so it's just primarily focused on the house, what the sidewalk looks like, where the fence was, and then the side entrance into the house and kitchen.
And this little line here, what is that?
Uh,
What's that depicting?
Yeah, that's the door, the inner door, it swings in,
Okay.
and
And then there's a very light line.
yes, that's a storm door.
Okay. And then State's Exhibit 11B,
Okay.
I guess has the earlier poster up in the corner here.
Yes.
But what what's being depicted there?
This is a zoom in of the kitchen. So this down here at the bottom is where you would come in. This is that inner door. This door leads down to the basement. And then you turn right, and there was a table there, the stove and the refrigerator.
The stove, refrigerator,
Yep, sink, yeah, and the gray is like the soffit that goes around
the
this,
soffit?
Yeah.
Okay.
maybe cabinets.
And those were all generated by your evidence response team as a result of their visit and information that was provided to them, is that correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Did the FBI collect anything from the house when they were out there that day? Physical property?
Yes, I'd have to see the log, but yes.
What's the screen?
Rather than maybe carrying it over there, if I could have the agent step over here.
Okay. Okay. You may, oh.
This is State's Exhibit 26. You recognize this item?
Yes, storm.
That's, and this is the storm door that was still on the house when you were out there?
Yes.
Okay, so you guys collected that. And I think there, at least at one time, there was glass in there. In reviewing the scene photographs from the Columbus Police, did you note glass in those?
Was not in the door, it was on the, yeah, on the landing.
On the ground?
Yes.
And it's, you know, maybe all storm doors are this way now, but it's the kind that shatters into small pieces instead of the big shards that can do significant damage if somebody cuts themselves on it. Right. May I approach the witness? Agent, show you what's been marked as State's Exhibit 10.
Okay.
Do you recognize that item?
Yes, it's a diagram of the kitchen and house, and then the lines of where they marked certain evidence.
Okay, and again, was this something that was generated by the ERT?
Yes,
Right. Now, when the ERT team was out there, you were out there also, is that correct?
yes,
And you were observing what was going and perhaps even giving some direction as to what you wanted to accomplish, is that correct?
yes.
Okay. State's Exhibit 10A,
Okay,
B, and C, do you recognize those photographs?
Yes, these are pictures of the door where they're rotting the door. They're like showing the trajectories of the rounds as they pass through the metal part of the storm door.
And again, you were present when that was all done, is that correct?
I was in and out on different days. I mean, I'm not sure that I was there at the exact time that they made those.
Okay,
But-
but do they fairly and accurately depict what you saw out at the scene?
Yes,
You didn't take the photographs, did you?
no,
That's the ERT people.
yes. So the ERT is like, there's a Cincinnati ERT, and then they call in other ERT members to help. So yes,
And the team that was assembled came from various locations.
Yes.
Is that correct?
yes,
Including Washington, D.C.,
yes,
Cincinnati,
yes.
I think Pittsburgh. Okay. The significance of the door being collected was what?
Well, you want to know the trajectory that the rounds took. And so it's an important piece to kind of, to understand like how they pass through that door.
Was there any other indication of bullet strikes on the exterior of the house other than the door?
None that I know of.
Okay. And that was one of the things that the whole team was looking for, is that correct?
Yes.
Now, at some point, at some point in the investigation, did you become aware of a Subway shop on Morse Road?
Yes.
Okay. And tell us about how you became aware of that.
The family had always said that he had,
You may.
approach the witness
Okay.
room. Agent White, I'm going to place in front of you what's been marked as State's Exhibit 14
Okay.
and State's Exhibit 15.
Mhm.
Do you recognize those photographs?
Yes, those are camera shots from inside the subway and outside in the parking lot area.
Okay, and where is that subway located?
I don't know the address right off, but
In proximity to?
it's, yeah, it's north of the residence and further, I mean, Morse
Morse is up here.
is up there, yeah.
And it's north, it's on Morse Road.
Yes.
Correct? You don't know the precise address.
Sorry, don't.
That's all right. In terms of travel distance, how far away is it?
Just a couple of minutes, yes.
May I publish these, John?
You may. Oh, note your objection.
This is State's Exhibit 14. And who was that
Mr.
carrying the
Good,
bag?
yeah, Mr. Goodson,
Okay. And then, and that's inside the store, is that correct?
yes,
And then State's Exhibit 15, this is the outside the store.
yes.
In fact, you can see the subway sign there.
Mhm.
Who's that?
Yeah, Mr. Goodson exiting, looks like exiting the store.
And in the course of the investigation, did you also retrieve a receipt from the subway store?
I believe so. I don't know if I retrieved it.
State's Exhibit 14. You recognize what that is?
Yes, it's a subway receipt dated December 4th, 2020 at 11:48 a.m.
Okay, and does it have a pickup time?
12:05 p.m.
Okay, thank you.
Yes.
During the course of the investigation, did you receive a written statement from Mr. Meade?
Yes.
And that came through the Columbus Police?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Show you what's been marked as State's Exhibit 27. And that as the written statement that you received?
Yes.
When you read the statement, did you note anything that triggered further investigative tasks by you?
Yes.
Tell us about that, please.
Around page 3, he describes the initial interaction with Mr. Meade. I'm sorry, yes, with Mr. Goodson. Mr. Meade describes that. And so he's describing what he sees at the intersection. So,
Now, tell us which intersection.
oh, I'm sorry, at Ferris and Carl.
Okay. And what did he describe in the statement?
He's there at the light. He sees Mr. Goodson coming in his car. He's yelling. He has a handgun with an extended magazine. He's got it. He's holding it horizontally. He's pumping it. He's yelling. He's pointing it at a driver who's traveling. At the time, Mr. Goodson's facing south on that road, and there's a driver coming north, and he tracks the driver with it, and he gets on the radio and makes a call that there's a guy out here waving a gun around. I think it's Younglis that responds, and they have a conversation on the radio. I think he confirms his location. I guess I can look it up here. And then Mr. Goodson makes the left turn, and he describes that Mr. Goodson is waving the gun at him. He ducks down. He goes to grab his pistol. It's not there. He gets on the radio, makes another call, then does a U-turn and pursues Mr. Goodson. And I felt like that was a lot that happened in that time frame. So,
So what'd you do as a result of it?
well, we had the video, first of all, from the corner there, from St. Matthias. So we looked at that to see if that made sense. And then just to kind of make sure, we did a reenactment. So we got his vehicle, we got Mr. Goodson's vehicle. I blocked off the street, and we just did a couple of runs, recording that with our evidence recovery team, the photographer.
States Exhibit 33. Agent States Exhibit 33 is a thumb drive. Have you looked at that thumb drive?
I have.
And does that contain this video reenactment that you have described?
Yes.
Let's take a look at it. Okay, let's start with the first one. Yeah. Okay, bring it up again and see if you can stop it right at the beginning. There, stop. Okay. The video is located where?
The recording device
camera.
in Mr. Meade's truck.
Okay, so we're looking out of Mr. Meade's truck, is that correct?
Yes.
And the truck is located where?
At the intersection of Carl and Ferris, right where it was in the video that we took from
The
St. Matthias video
Okay, so it's at the stop bar.
in the first position.
There's a left turn lane and a right turn lane,
Yes, sorry, thank you.
and it's in which lane?
The left turn lane.
Okay. All right. Go ahead and proceed. Now stop. Stop. That car is what?
Mr. Goodson's car. I think it's his grandmother's car, but it's the one he was driving.
The one he was driving that day?
Yes,
Okay, so we have the two actual vehicles from that day.
yes.
Okay. Go ahead, Gary. Okay. Now, you took more than one video. Why was that?
We wanted to do it a couple of times, maybe some different speeds. We wanted to do it with different actions in the car to see what you could see.
Okay. Let's go to the second one. So as the driver is coming southbound on Carl, do you have him making gestures or anything?
Yes, and some of them.
Okay, on that one, do you know?
I didn't see any gestures in that one.
Okay, let's go to the next one.
Mr. Merkel, are these all within Exhibit 33, or are they?
They are. It's all on that thumb drive. Yeah, stop right there. Who's that?
That's me.
That's you?
Yes.
So you're indicating, okay, we're set up, come on forward?
Yes, we had blocked the road and the intersections, and so once everything was good, I would give them the sign, and then I would step behind the sign, so I was out of the video when it.
Okay.
Yep.
Go ahead, play. I'm sorry. Stop. Now, he's moved the camera, is that correct?
Yes.
And so now what we're as far to the right as, and still looking out the windshield, is that right?
Yes.
So that depicts the portion of Carl Road that can be viewed from his truck.
Yes.
Okay. Go ahead. Okay, next one, please. Stop for a second. There's a line at the far right of the video. Is that the edge of the
Sign?
sign there?
Yes.
Okay, go ahead. Next one. Th- 38, I believe. Next one, Gary. Oh. Okay. Now, through this entire reenactment, did you guys ever relocate Mr. Meade's truck
Relocate it?
from in each of the videos? Did the
No, it
truck
stayed where,
stayed in the same
yes,
spot?
yes.
I mean, once you placed it there based on what the Ferris or the St. Matthias video had shown, it remained there.
Yes.
Did you also do an inspection of Mr. Meade's truck yourself?
Yes.
Okay, tell us about that.
I obtained a warrant for it, and then We did a search of it to make sure a lot of the infotainment systems that are in the modern vehicles will track when doors open and close, windows go up and down, things like that. So we got a warrant, and then we did that forensics. And then I inspected the vehicle myself, looked at what type of equipment he had in it, and took some pictures and a video of the light package.
I'm going to show you what's number 36. Show you thumb drive that's been marked State's Exhibit 36.
Okay,
Does that contain the video you took of the truck?
I believe so.
Okay, and you've reviewed this?
Yes.
Can we get on there again, please? I'm going to show you what's been marked as State's Exhibit 33. And you recognize what that video depicts?
Yes.
What is that?
That's his unmarked vehicle, but it has a covert light package in it so that you can turn it on and identify yourself as law enforcement.
Okay, and in inspecting the truck, do you know how you turn that covert light package on?
I mean, you do it inside. I couldn't tell you right now, like where in there you would do it. I'd have to look at it. Sorry.
In the driver's area?
Yes.
I mean, you don't know specifically where the switch was, but there was a switch somewhere.
Yes.
Did you notice whether the vehicle had an Ohio license plate on it?
It does not. I think it was Maryland, maybe.
Had the state of Maryland license plate on it?
I think so. I think so, yes.
So if the lights aren't ignited, if you're just looking at the license plate, you're not gonna see it as an Ohio vehicle. Is that correct?
That sounds correct, yes.
In looking at the body cam from the day of the incident, did you review the body cam of CPD Officer Sam Rippey?
Yes.
If you recall, did his body cam capture the location of Mr. Meade's truck right immediately after the shooting?
Yes.
And in capturing it, did it indicate or did it capture whether his covert light package was on or off?
Yes, it captured that.
And what did it capture?
It captured it off and on.
Okay. Tell us about that.
Initially, he's holding the side of the house, and you can see the truck as it's parked in the street. The light package is not engaged, and then Mr. Meade comes out and goes to his vehicle, and then the light package is turned on.
Okay. When you say comes out from
From the house, from the side of the house at Estates, yes.
when you were out at the intersection and the scene in January, did you also, in addition to the video, have photographs taken?
The ART did take photos as well.
Okay.
Does council want to approach? Take our morning break. Do not discuss this case among yourself. Do not permit anyone to discuss it with you or in your presence. It is your duty not to form or express an opinion on the case until it is finally submitted to you. About 15 minutes.
All rise.
So my son just got called in for jury duty in New York City.
Are you presiding in that case?
I am not. It's one of the only states I'm not licensed in. And he tried to postpone it, but couldn't. Why did the deputies remove that guy? I heard. No worries.
Only the supervisor.
Door shut. So was the food good?
Mr. Merkel, I'm confused as to exhibit 33.
I apparently misspoke.
Okay, so, because I have it
It's
as all those,
36.
36 was the truck video?
Yes.
Yes. 36,
Was just of the lights.
gotcha.
Yeah, I apparently misspoke.
That's okay, I just want to make it, go down.
When he said 33, he meant 38, right?
Yes, this last
No,
time,
you're right, yeah.
originally.
It wasn't 38.
He said before we went off the record.
Yes.
38.
It's supposed to be 38.
Okay, thank you.
Make sure you correct the record.
Correct the record.
Correct, it's to the right. It's not the transcript.
All rise.
Everyone can have a seat. And Agent White, you're still under oath. Any further questions on behalf of the state?
Yes, Your Honor, thank you. I'm going to show you photographs 38A, 38B, and 38C. Let's start with, well, do you recognize the photo?
A and B are sphericals of the intersection of Ferris and Carl.
Okay, and sees a screenshot from one of those reenactment videos?
Yes.
Okay, let's start with A. Again, all these are taken on January 17th when you guys were out there doing the reenactment.
I believe so. I'd have to confirm it, but yes.
Okay. 38A, what does that depict?
That's the placement of where the vehicle is and where you might be able to see from that position.
Okay, now the camera is not where the vehicle was, is that correct?
Correct, it's showing the intersection,
Okay,
fisheye.
all right. And then 38B, what does that depict?
That's back from the intersection, more in line with where a vehicle would stop.
Okay. And then 38C, by comparison, is a still off of one of the videos, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. By the way, all the videos contained on State's Exhibit 33, were they fair and accurate depictions of the reenactment that was done that day?
Yes.
Okay. After those, may I publish these, Your Honor?
You may.
Starting with 38A. How do I get the whole thing in? You must be doing that. Okay. This is one of those fishbowl
Aye.
photographs you're talking about.
Yes.
And I guess we can see the shadow of the photographer in there. We're looking northbound on Carl. Is this Carl Road over here?
Yes.
Is that correct?
Yes.
And then we're looking eastbound on Ferris.
Yes.
And where you had located the truck would have been approximately where my pen is?
Yes.
And then 38B, again, we can see the photographer. It was a sunny day, obviously. Is that correct?
Yes.
This one's the one that the photographer is located in the vicinity of where Mr. Meade's truck was located. Is that correct?
Yes.
And then by comparison, 38C is a photograph, I don't know whether- from one of the videos, is that right?
Yes.
And it's depicting the view out of the windshield.
Yes.
Now, while you were out there, did you also have photographs taken of from a location on a state's place?
Yes.
Okay. It's 31A and B. 31B, and do you recognize those photographs?
Yes.
And were those among the photographs taken that day?
Yes, I believe so.
Okay. And do they fairly and accurately depict the estates, the roadway of Estates Place?
Yes.
Okay. I may publish these, Your Honor. You may. Starting with 31A, I think we can get a little larger here. You go down a little bit. Yeah, that's good. Tell us what that is depicting.
You're standing in the middle of estates looking south, and then down there on the eastern side, you'll see Mr. Goodson's, looks like Mr. Goodson's car parked in front of the residence.
Okay. And where on Estates Place is the camera located approximately?
I think it's just north of Sale, which is across street there.
All right. And did you measure the distance from Sale down to the general location where Mr. Goodson's car had been parked that day?
Yes,
And how far is that?
about 100 yards.
Football field?
Football field.
Now, you've seen you've seen pictures of the body armor that Mr. Meade wore that day, is that correct?
Yes.
And it has a placard on the front that says U.S. Marshals.
Yes. Yes.
U.S. Marshals, I'm not sure the exact language. Did you conduct any research as to how visible that would be to someone 100 yards away?
Yes, actually, initially I asked my optometrist about it, and she referred me to someone at OSU, and then eventually they said you would need.
Sustained, you can ask another question.
Well, from your own experience, would from 100 yards away,
No objection, Your Honor. Same basis. This matter has never been turned into discovery at all.
I'm going to overrule it. I haven't heard the rest of the question.
how readable would a placard the size be?
You couldn't read that at 100 yards.
And 31B, what does that depict?
That looks like the opposite view, looking up the street. You can see the cross street there.
And that cross street is
So-
100 yards away.
Yes.
Now, from your experience, would a light package like Mr. Meade had on his vehicle, if turned on, would that be visible from 100 yards away?
Objection, Your Honor. Speculation.
Sustained.
From your experience, have you seen similar type light packages engaged from a distance of 100 yards?
Objection.
Overruled.
Yes, I believe I've seen active vehicle lights that police would use at that range.
Okay. And they're very apparent to you
Yes,
when engaged?
yes.
Okay. Agent White, I want to show you what's been marked and previously identified as State's Exhibit 39C, which was a still taken from a video, body cam video of Officer Penn. Do you recognize what's depicted in that photograph
Yes.
and what is depicted?
It looks like activity from that day. He's on the southwestern part of the property and right by the gate and where the family members would typically enter the house.
Okay, and does it show the location of the gate, at least at that point in time?
Yes.
And then I want to show you what's been marked as State's Exhibit 39D, which has previously been identified as a still later in the video of Officer Penny. And tell me what that depicts.
It's the same location, just like a little bit off from the other photo.
Okay, and what's the location of the gate then?
It's more open. The other one was maybe at like a 45 degree. This is almost 90.
Okay. Publish, Your Honor.
Okay.
Okay, this is 39.
Can we take a break real quick? Ladies and gentlemen, do not discuss this case among yourselves. Do not permit anyone to discuss it with you or in your presence. It is your duty not to form or express an opinion on the case until it is finally submitted to you, probably about 5 to 10 minutes.
All rise.
Apparently something for him.
Yes.
I actually got it, I just switched the pay for your pizza. Like, that was an option in there instead of Apple Pay, but okay.
So is it taken care of or? Go get the jury. If they can. Having been ticketed downtown before, those people jump all over that.
Well, that's what we were trying to avoid. So it wouldn't let me do it early on the break. So.
washing out. It's washing out the part of the photograph that, I guess maybe
The
there.
lights down.
There we go. Oops. Well, not that far.
Keep that on.
Okay. This is, no, I can't read it.
That's not clear.
Yeah, that's good right there. 39C. If we look at the sidewalk there, we can see the position of the gate. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. And then 39D, which was taken shortly thereafter, we can see that the gate has been opened a bit further, correct?
Yes.
That D as in dog or D as in?
D as in dog. Agent White, back when you went through the FBI Academy, I think you talked a bit about defensive tactics. And did you, either in the academy or subsequently, train or be trained on threat tactics? On tactics when there's a threat?
Evaluating threats, is that what you're asking? Yes.
Tell us a little bit about that.
So in new agent training, you'll learn, even beyond defensive tactics, you'll be put in different scenarios. Often, when you first start off, they kind of prep you for it, like this is what you're going to go into. But then towards the end, right before you graduate, they'll say, this is your scenario, and it'll be completely different. So just to see how you kind of react to those situations. But defensive tactics itself is, you'll be in those scenarios and you'll be evaluated not just by your defensive tactics instructor, but evaluated by your firearms instructor, evaluated by your senior class advisor, things like that, and your legal advisor. Everybody will be there to make sure that you were considering all things.
Okay. Now, did this include threat assessment?
Yes,
Are there different types of threats?
yes.
Okay. Talk to us a little bit about that.
Yeah, we have different situations. I remember, say, one scenario is you come in and there's a person who's sitting behind the desk and he's suicidal and he has a weapon with him. And, the instructors are evaluating to see if you draw your weapon, how are you treating this situation? Is this, he's obviously a threat to himself, but he has a weapon, so is he a threat to you as well? Seeing how you evaluate things like that.
Okay. Is there a difference between threat and potential threat?
Yes.
Okay, tell me about that.
I would evaluate a situation and
You make?
How do I evaluate threats? How are we trained to evaluate threats? Yeah, you try to take in the totality of the situation. If, what kind of weapon does this person have? Is it out? Are they pointing at folks, for instance, if we're talking about something in their hands? Or are they just carrying it? Is it, what else is around them? What else? Try to bring in, sometimes the situation and the simulations that we would run would be, looking beyond that threat also is, if you're going to have to engage this subject, what's behind them? Is it like a school bus, right? Like sometimes there's situations where, you have to evaluate the threat and find a better alternative.
And when there's a potential threat, is that the approach that you take different than when there's an actual threat?
Yes.
How so?
I mean, a potential threat, you're obviously going to be guarded. You're going to be evaluating the situation, trying to get into the best position to where you can react if things become the actual threat.
Okay, when you talk about the best position, what do you mean?
Well, let's say you're trying to arrest someone and you think they could be a threat. You might be giving them commands that put them at a disadvantage, putting them on the ground, laying them down, putting their arms out to the side, putting them in a position where it will take longer for them to react and you can react faster and to try and minimize that threat.
Okay. Are you taught that tactically when assistance is available to avail yourself of it?
Yes.
Is that something that law enforcement kind of universally seeks to do?
Sustain.
How does distance play in?
Distance is time. Distance is usually your friend. The further you're away from a subject, if they should take action against you, right, that distance gives you that time. So individual with a knife at 7 meters, 21 feet is like considered the same as if someone had a firearm because they could close that distance in a quick period of time. So distance is important to know. And then also if you were talking about firearms, most law enforcement is trained to shoot better than, criminals, we'll say. So that distance gives you an advantage because they'll be less accurate, you'll be more accurate.
Okay. How about weaponry? You touched on this earlier about the difference between long guns and handguns.
Sure.
There's an advantage with a long gun.
Oh, yes, for sure. I mean, you'll be more accurate.
So,
I mean, it's a longer barrel, a longer, you'll be more accurate with that longer barrel than you will be with a shorter barrel. You'll probably have a higher magazine capacity, so you'll have more rounds that you can use against someone who has a handgun. It's a smaller number of rounds. It's going to be a higher power weapon. Optics, you're probably going to have an advantage with optics over someone who's
what do you mean by that?
on the weapon. There'll usually be like a system for lining the weapon up. So it could be just like iron sights where you're just like lining things up in a line and trying to go straight there. Or if you're, for instance, on a long gun, you could have a scope which has like maybe a red dot or sometimes it's a laser that's at the end of your weapon that actually projects the laser onto. There's different systems that just, it helps you be more accurate.
And how does that play into the concept of distance?
I mean, the further you are, the less accurate you're likely to be. So when you have a system like that, that, helps you become more accurate and at greater distance, you'll be more effective.
How about the concept of cover?
Yeah, cover is, protection from rounds. It's not concealment. Concealment is just like you're hiding behind something, but it won't necessarily protect you from the incoming rounds. So, cover is getting behind something that would say like this podium, if it was, protection, bulletproof, then me being behind it, I only expose a small section of my body. And so the smaller you can get behind that, the better it is, the more it forces your enemy to have to be more accurate at shooting. And,
Now, when you were on the SWAT team, were you trained to act alone?
act alone. I would say the only time that would be is in a active shooter situation and you've responded to and all law enforcement is taught since Columbine to like, you've got to go, so don't sit and wait. So everybody goes as soon as you can.
And the reason that absent an active shooter scenario, that you wait is why?
If the situation doesn't force it, then, get your numbers, get organized, get your protective equipment, get all those advantages that I talked about before.
Numbers are an advantage.
Numbers are, surprise is, like, get your plan together. It's a number of things.
So making certain everyone knows what's going on.
Yes.
If I may have a moment, Your Honor. Thank you. I don't believe I have any further questions at this time.
Any cross-examination?
Let's let the one I misnamed go.
Agent White, how are you, sir?
Good. How are you, sir?
You beat me to retirement.
It's been a few years. Yes, good to see you, sir.
All right, so I have some questions as far as the automatic weapon.
Yes.
Testified in response to Mr. Merkel's questions about firing an automatic weapon. It sounds like either through the Navy or through FBI training, you have quite a bit of exposure to that weapon, right?
I would say FBI.
And so I believe you testified that when you're firing an automatic weapon, I think the word you use, it tends to walk, right? In other words, it moves.
Yes.
And so in order to stabilize that weapon, I assume it's walking because there's a lot of recoil with it. Is that right?
Yes.
So in order to stabilize that weapon, when you're firing in automatic mode, you tend to, I think you said step forward, right?
Yes.
And I kind of demonstrating what you would do with an automatic weapon?
Yes, you'd lean into it.
Body position?
Yes, you would lean into it.
And kind of crouch a little bit?
Yes.
And that weapon would be on a stable part of your body, whether it's in the shoulder area or against a plated vest. Is that fair?
Yes,
And again, the reason that you're doing that is to make sure that you're accurate when you're firing that weapon, correct?
yes.
Because it can easily get away from you, right? All right. So let's talk about exhibits 10A to C. And if, you may not remember what those are, but I think those are the photographs you were shown of the rods and dowels into the mesh. Do you remember that?
Yes.
And do you remember if you were present on that day when that work was done?
I'm not sure which day it was done, and I go in and out on different days. Yes,
But you weren't the one that placed the dowels and rods in the mesh screen, right?
that's correct.
It's something that some ERT member, I think her name's Amy Culia, did. Does that sound right?
That sounds right.
And so you can't testify as to the accuracy of what that represents, right?
Yes,
You're not a trajectory expert, right?
I am not.
And simply, that photograph accurately depicts how that door looked after those rods and cones were inserted, right?
Yes,
Now, as far as the still from Detective Rippey's body-worn camera, I believe you testified that in one part of the body-worn camera footage that the light package on Mr. Meade's truck was not engaged. Is that right?
not for the still. The video, I think, is.
Video, okay.
Yes, sir.
So one part of the video, the light package wasn't engaged, but it later was, right?
Yes, yes,
And you, I think, testified about Exhibit 27, Mr. Meade's statement, right?
yes,
And that's something that you were given as part of your investigation, right? And isn't it true that in Exhibit 27, Mr. Meade doesn't say that he engaged this light package when he pursued Mr. Goodson? Isn't that right?
that is right, yes.
Now, as far as the threats, Agent White, would you agree that based on your FBI training, that if a person points a gun at you, that's a deadly threat, isn't it?
Yes,
You would respond to that deadly threat with deadly force, wouldn't you?
yes.
That's how you're trained, right?
To stop the threat, yes.
To stop the threat. And you would probably be trained to target center mass in that person, right?
Yes,
That's how the FBI trains, right?
yes,
Matter of fact, that's how all federal law enforcement officers are trained, right? Target center mass, stop the threat if you're presented with a deadly threat, right?
yes, I assume.
Now, you also testified on direct examination that a team approach is the best approach in certain circumstances, right?
Yes,
And in an ideal world, you would agree that that is how you're trained in the FBI, get as many bodies as possible and approach with as many personnel, right?
yes,
It provides you safety, right?
yes,
Provides the public safety, right? But not every circumstance is going to afford you the luxury of a team approach, right?
yes,
Certain circumstances, I think you said, you have to go alone, right? And that's after you've done your assessment of the problem that you're being presented with as a law enforcement officer, right?
No, I've got down lower, 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 lower.
Do you need to take a break?
Well, could we just have a moment, or?
Here, Tim, let's go outside.
I had an
All right.
alibi.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's take a 5-minute break. Do not discuss this case among yourselves. Do not permit anyone to discuss it with you when you're present. can have a seat. And Agent White, you're still under oath.
Agent White, I think I posed a question to you. You didn't have a chance to answer it before we were interrupted, so I'd ask court reporter if she would please do me a favor. Ask you the question. Okay?
I'm going to ask the question before I give the context.
Sure.
The question was, in certain circumstances, I think you said you have to go alone, right? And you indicated affirmatively. And the last question was, that's after you've done your assessment of the problem that you're being presented with as a law enforcement officer, right?
Yes.
So let's talk about the reenactment that we saw, the videos that you displayed. You were kind of playing the director in those videos, and I do have some questions about those. Now, Agent White, on all 6 of the videos that we watched, isn't it true that there was no northbound car going through the intersection before Mr. Goodson's car turned onto Ferris?
That's true.
And you're aware that in Mr. Meade's statement that you've identified as State's Exhibit 27, that he did identify a car traveling northbound through the intersection before Mr. Goodson turned, right?
Yes.
And that he, in his statement, said that Mr. Goodson was aiming his gun at that driver and tracking the vehicle. Words to that effect, right?
Yes.
And so, in that respect, the video, the reenactments are not accurate as it relates to Mr. Meade's statement. Would you agree with that?
That there was no vehicle in that reenactment. Yes, that's correct.
Who made that decision?
I did not script another vehicle. I guess you could blame me. Yes.
But you would agree that also the security camera at St. Matthias depicted the vehicle traveling northbound, right?
Yes.
You can clearly see that, right?
Yes. We didn't, that vehicle, in the video, he doesn't stop and wait. He slows and then makes the turn. So we tried to depict that in the reenactment.
And would you agree that a camera lens is not going to pick up as much information as the human eye would pick up?
Yes.
That's because the human head can turn and reposition itself, right?
Yes.
The weather that was on the day of the reenactment was very similar to the weather on December the 4th of 2020, right?
I don't know that, sir.
You watched the video from the St. Matthias, haven't you?
Yes.
Looked like it was a very clear day that day, right?
Looked fine.
Just like in the reenactment, right?
Yes.
In that respect, you would agree that the weather on December the 4th was very similar, if not identical, to the day of the reenactment.
I didn't compare the two, sir.
All right. Now, I believe you testified that you placed Mr. Meade's vehicle at the stop bar as it was turning left on to go southbound on Carl, right?
Yes.
And would you agree that the security camera at St. Matthias doesn't depict where that stop bar is located? Isn't that true?
I would have to look at it again to make sure.
If I may have the Elmo, Rachel, please. I'm going to publish for you once again Exhibit 38A. I think you identified this on direct examination. And this right here, that's Carl Road, right?
Yes.
And over here is Ferris, right?
Yes.
And St. Matthias is way, way back here, isn't it?
That's where it is, yes.
Quite a field, lengthy field between where St. Matthias is and this intersection, right?
Yes.
And isn't it true that in the video that captures the interaction between Mr. Meade's vehicle as well as Mr. Goodson's, that you can't see the stop bar at all, can you?
I would have to look at the video to make sure.
Okay. Well, we do have that, so.
Okay.
there's the vantage point looking towards the intersection, isn't that right?
Yes.
And you can see cars going to and from, right? You see that?
Yes.
And isn't it true that this security camera doesn't capture where that stop bar is? Can't see it.
That's fair.
But yet you chose to put Mr. Meade's vehicle at the stop bar, right? True?
Yes. Yes.
And would you agree that if the vehicle is 3 or 4 feet in front of the stop bar, you're going to have a better vantage point of Carl Road than if it was at the stop bar, right?
Yes.
And the reason is that sign that, I'm going to need your help once more, Rachel, thank you. This sign that I think identifies the property as St. Matthias's property, that would be an obstruction depending on where that Mr. Meade's vehicle stopped, right?
Yes.
So 2 or 3 feet in front of the stop bar, you'd be able to see farther up Carl Road, right?
Yes.
2 or 3 feet behind the stop bar, you couldn't see hardly any of Carl Road, right?
Yes.
Now, you would agree that in the reenactment videos that we watched this morning, that the camera in Mr. Meade's vehicle clearly shows Mr. Goodson's vehicle, right?
Yes.
Clearly shows the driver in Mr. Goodson's vehicle, right?
Yes. As it passes.
I'm sorry?
As it passes, yes.
Well, as it's approaching the intersection, it shows the driver, doesn't it?
Yes, you can see there's a driver.
And when Mr. Goodson's vehicle makes the turn to go, I believe it would be eastbound on Ferris, his vehicle's within 2 or 3 feet of Mr. Meade's, right?
Yes.
It's a pretty tight space, isn't it?
Yes.
And Mr. Meade's vehicle, and that is the vehicle that you used in the reenactment, right?
Yes.
Mr. Meade's vehicle has a higher profile than Mr. Goodson's, right?
Yes.
And so you would agree that the person seated in Mr. Meade's seat, the driver's seat, can look down into Mr. Goodson's vehicle, right?
Yes.
Camera depicts that, right?
It does.
And isn't it true that the person that's driving Mr. Goodson's vehicle is depicted wearing a mask?
Yes.
And all of the reenactment videos, it shows the person driving Mr. Goodson's vehicle as wearing a mask, right?
I believe so.
And isn't it true, Agent White, that in Mr. Meade's statement that's found in Exhibit 27, that Mr. Meade describes the driver of Mr. Goodson's car as yelling as he's pumping the firearm, right?
Yes.
And so if Mr. Meade is correct that the person was yelling, then that person wouldn't have been wearing a mask. You would agree with that?
Yes.
Otherwise, you couldn't see his lips
Can
move,
see his
right?
lips move. Mm-hmm.
So you would agree that in that respect, the reenactment videos would also be inaccurate, right?
Yes.
So let's talk about the pictures that you took. And I believe they were identified as State's Exhibit 31A and B. And I believe that before you could even get Mr. Meade's vehicle, that you had to get permission of the federal court to seize the vehicle, right?
Yes.
And so in order to accomplish that, you had written a search warrant and seizure warrant affidavit to support that action, right?
Yes.
And that's something that is commonplace for FBI agents to do. They write search warrant affidavits all the time, right?
Yes.
And you talked about being trained in Quantico, and I'm sure that an important component of that training in Quantico would be writing a search warrant affidavit, right?
Yes.
So, may I approach a witness, Your Honor?
Right?
Agent White, I'm going to hand you, it's not marked as an exhibit, but I'm going to hand you a document. I ask you if you can review it real quick. Just tell me when you're ready to answer. You recognize it?
Yeah, it's application support, affidavit in support of it.
Okay. And that's the one you wrote to get Mr. Meade, right?
There's no signature on it, but I'll trust that's it.
That's what we were given in discovery.
Okay.
You remember writing this?
Yes.
And again, the purpose was to get a warrant to seize Mr. Meade's vehicle so that you could complete the reenactment, right?
To do the forensics and evaluate the vehicle. And yes, sir.
A couple of different purposes.
Yes.
So I'm going to, if I could have the, I'll move once again. I'm going to focus your attention, Agent White, on paragraph 17. And so in this affidavit, you wrote, according to Google Maps, the TFO Meade location stopped to don equipment was 7 houses away, or approximately 380 feet from where Goodson was standing after he exited his vehicle. By comparison, the regulation NFL football field is 360 feet long from end to end. According to TFO Meade, from that distance, he saw the gun in Goodson's right hand. And Goodson overheard the conversation that TFO Meade and TFO Rosser were having about him, which prompted Goodson to look directly at Meade before moving quickly to the house. You wrote that, right?
Yes.
And you based that paragraph, at least in part, on Mr. Meade's statement, correct?
Yes.
Because at that time, you already had Mr. Meade's statement, right?
Yes, and the other officers who parked at the same location.
Okay. And I don't have a real slick Google map. But I assume when you use Google Maps, and here's estates in case, do you see that?
Yes.
You would have counted the houses on the Google map to determine the number of houses, right?
Yes.
And so that would have been, on the west side of the street, would have been 7 houses to Sale Road, right?
Okay. Yes.
I think on the east side of the street, it might be a few, 1 or 2 less, but anyway, you counted 7 houses, right?
Yes, that's 7. That's what I indicated.
And did you then use some device to measure from Sale to where roughly Mr. Goodson's car was parked?
Yes, we went out on the scene and took a measurement with that.
So that's how you got to 360 feet, right?
380 feet?
Or 380 feet.
Yes, sir.
Now, and I think this kind of illustrates your point from the vantage point of being at Case, or not Case, but Sale and Estates Place, looking down towards Mr. Goodson's car, which would be there, right?
Yes.
Now, do you have Exhibit 27 in front of you?
Yes.
And I'm going to ask you, Agent White, to turn to page 4 of Exhibit 27. Are you
I'm there. Yes.
last paragraph, are you there?
Yes.
And isn't it true that Mr. Meade wrote, "I was not wearing my tactical vest, so I pulled onto the western side of the road near the intersection of Estates Place and Sale"?
Yes.
He didn't say he pulled at Estates Place and Sale, did he?
He does not. He says near.
Near. And he says several houses north of the suspect's car, right?
Yes.
He didn't write 7 houses north of the suspect's car, did he?
He did not.
He wrote several, didn't he?
He did.
So in your affidavit to get a search and seizure warrant in this case, you didn't accurately depict Mr. Meade's statement about where he parked the car, or his truck, and how many houses away from Mr. Goodson's car it was parked, right?
I am not relying solely on his statement for my application.
But you would agree that nowhere in this statement does he say 7 houses.
Yeah, that's correct. I agree.
Nowhere in the statement does he say it's at the intersection of Sale and Estates Place, right?
I agree.
May I have a moment, Your Honor?
Okay.
No further questions.
Councilman approach. Any redirect?
Yes, pretty. Agent White, Mr. Noller is asking me about the stop bar and so forth. I'd like you to look at 13, I believe it's A, which is the St. Matthias video. And then I have a couple questions for you about it.
Okay.
Yeah. Stop. Stop, Gary. Just freeze the video. Now, there are circles around different vehicles. Okay. Are you stopping? Okay. Ready to start? Maybe if you ask him to. All right. Just freeze it right there. Now, what I want you to pay attention to is, 1, northbound traffic going through, going by Ferris on Carl Road. 2, Mr. Meade's actions as he does his U-turn. And while he's doing the U-turn, again, any northbound traffic on Carl Road.
Okay, okay.
All right, go ahead now. Okay. Now, in his statement that Mr. Nolder referred to, Mr. Nolder said, well, he talked about northbound traffic in the intersection.
Yes, yes.
Was there any northbound traffic in the intersection when Mr. Goodson's vehicle arrived there?
I saw a dark-colored vehicle travel through the intersection, and then he turned
And it was exiting the intersection as he,
as he approached the intersection.
is that correct?
Yes, I think so.
And when he did his U-turn, did he appear to go out onto Carl Road to make the U-turn?
Yes.
On Carl or on Ferris?
He goes out onto Carl.
Objection, he doesn't like the answer, so.
Sustained. You asked the question, did he go on Carl Road?
All right,
It looks as if he went on Carl.
okay. You cannot see precisely the stop bar, but did it appear as though his vehicle was roughly at the stop bar?
Objection.
If he knows, he viewed the video.
Yes, that's where we thought that he was at, and that's where we set it up in that way, yes.
Okay. And want to show again State's Exhibit 31A. Now, that's the whole photo, isn't it?
Yes,
And Mr. Nolder was asking you about your search warrant affidavit, and when you indicated that the stop to gear up was in the area of Sales and the States Place, did you rely exclusively on Mr. Meade's statement?
no,
You had other information, is that correct?
yes,
From other officers that were present?
yes,
And because of that, that's where you began your measurement.
yes,
And you said 100 yards, I guess it's really more like 23 yards, 380 feet.
yeah. I didn't do the conversion, but I'll trust that's correct, yes.
So when you chose the location for this photograph, you were relying upon information that had been gathered at that point.
Yes,
Okay. Thank you, that's all I have.
Any questions as a result of those?
So the methodology for the reenactment placed Mr. Meade's truck at the stop bar at Ferris and Carl, even though you couldn't see that his vehicle was on the stop bar, at the stop bar at Ferris and Carl, right?
Yes,
That's just where you chose to put it, right?
yes.
Is that it? With lawyers saying one, that's not. Agent White, thank you so much. Can we leave everything there?
Thank you, sir.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take our lunch break. Do not discuss this case among yourselves. Do not permit anyone to discuss it with you or in your presence. It is your duty not to form or express an opinion on the case until it is finally submitted to you. You can be back about 1:15, start back up at 1:30. Have a good lunch.
All rise.